thank Pastor for allowing me to be a part of this service today, and of course to the Sullivan family. We love your husband and father very much. Another member of our community's gone home, and we're left just for a little while to finish life's race. And we have come today to do as Jesus did with all of you, and that is to weep at the loss of a friend. To you, Mrs. Sullivan, and to Richard and Susan, who I know is hurting doubly today. Cliff and Tina and Steve and Renee and this whole family, just want you to know that we're here to let you know how much that we love you and how much we loved your husband and loved your father. As far as I'm concerned, we've come to give honor to Dick Sullivan, that I would say 3 words: a good man. And I would sum it up with what Micah wrote when Micah was writing what the definition of a good man was. He said a good man is a man that the Lord will require of to establish that goodness, and that is, he will do justly, he will love mercy, and he will walk humbly. And when I think of this man, I think of a man that was a just man. I think of a man that was full of mercy, and I think of a man that walked humbly before his God. A good man is God's demonstration. When God wants to show what he can really do, you can look up at night and see the stars and all the things that God has created with his hands and with his breath and with his words. But when God really wants to show off, he shows you what he can do through creation of making a man. And he calls him a good man. A good man is the pride and strength of his family. He's the blessing of his neighbors and friends. So there are things about the death of this good man for which we grieve. When you're contacted with a good man and your life has been wrapped with a good man, it brings about grief. For to take the love out of living, or to take the death out of dying, you would have to take the love out of living. And because all of us love deeply, we now have no choice but to hurt. So we grieve because of the separation that we have. We grieve because we lost quite a craftsman. He's a self-made engineer. He invents wood splitters. He can make the best cane syrup going. He can produce the crops that we all eat off of, and you can observe from his pastor he paid his tithes off of. And he was a farmer, and he was a crawfish man that we had the privilege of you, Miss Audette, inviting us out in my family to be a part of. I guess Rylan, his great-grandson, named him well. He's just Pawpaw Grand. He's just a grand man. So we grieve because of the hurt and the sorrow that I see with you. I did this for a family and because of this man, but I know what my mother's feeling after 67 years. So I stand here in the last 4 months with a lot of experience. And I know what you gentlemen are feeling because of the loss of my father, Rick, Cliff, and Steve, 4 months ago. And there's a line that was always read right. He said, if you're going to bury your father, dig the grave deep, because they make lasting impressions upon our lives that change our lives. Our nation grieves today. This man was part of the U.S. Coast Guard Marines. He was the Air Force. And he was part of the Navy 20 and 21 years. So you're looking at 40 to 50 years this man invested for our country. No wonder that God chose to take him on the week of Veterans Day. A man that fought and protected the rights that we all have, the freedom, all 4 of us from different denominations, to walk into a door and worship in spirit and truth. It's grief. And we all feel that grief, that we've lost an American, we've lost a friend, we've lost a father. and we've lost a husband, we've lost a brother, and we've lost a brother-in-law. And we all feel that this afternoon because of a good man. But it's also very significant that he chose to leave us on the month of November because that's Thanksgiving. So before I close today, I couldn't end without giving thanks for this great man. The lives he has touched, those that he produced. When I look at you, Miss Audette, 60 years of living together, I commend you and the way you stood by him in sickness. Everything that Joe went through, so did his wife. It's easy for us to condemn Joe's wife, but that was her children that she lost. That was her farm that was blown away. And you've been through tremendous suffering the last few months. And your pastor and all of us hold you up in very much prayers. And to you, Richard, Cliff, and Steve, and our prayers are with you. And our prayers will be resting upon you. And those that I have the privilege of pastoring, Cliff and Tina, our prayers will be holding up, Steve, into your life. And Richard, the thing you're facing when you get back home, I know you're carrying a tremendous burden today, as well as with your father. So this man loved, and he loved deep, therefore we love. So we're here with a spirit of thanksgiving, just giving thanks that we had the privilege of being in contact with him. Thanks, thanks, thanks. I give him thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, here lies the remains of a very good man who did justly, who loved mercy, who walked humbly, and who raised a great family. His boys are what they are, because as the twig is bent, so grows the tree. May God's blessing rest upon all of the Sullivans.